Hello, hello, everyone. Hello, hello. How is everyone doing? We are live. We are ready to rock and roll. I hope everyone's Friday has treated them well. I hope the week has treated you well. And for those in the UK, I hope you're looking forward to a lovely extra day off this weekend because it's another bank holiday weekend. Happy days. Hey everyone, hope you're good. Good to see the usual faces. Now the show, JC, Mark, Revd. Good to see you all. I only started watching like a month ago. Now you're addicted. Oh, mate, welcome, welcome. Thanks for continuing to tune back in. Good day, Billy. Evening, Anne. Good to see you, mate. Yes, hopefully we have an interesting weekend ahead of us, eh? Hopefully we have an interesting weekend. Good to see you, being Katie, Akano, Pat. Cheers, everyone. Hope you well. No booze, no Friday tipple for me this weekend. Trying to be good. Going on holiday soon, so I'm trying to get the belly down. But yes, I'm caffeined up. Don't you worry. As the data's just about to go live, and we can get ready to rock and roll. I do have my merch, by the way. I said I have bought merch. It has arrived, and it just needs a little iron. I didn't have time today yet to iron it before we stick it on for the sprint quali later on. So tune in to see what bit of merch I've bought from the F1 or from an F1 team. So I'm good, Leo. Hope you're doing well, mate. Right. How's this track map look? I've completely forgot how this track map looks. Oh my god, it's such a weird track map. Okay, right. Not sure how this is going to look. Oh god! Oh, I was so looking forward to this weekend. I'm sorry if that's just shocked you guys. I was so looking forward to this weekend, and I've just had it spoiled by hearing Danica Patrick's voice. Oh. I'm gonna have to have the Sky commentary on mute. I'm gonna have to have it on mute, like you guys have me on mute. I'm gonna have to, because I have it in my ear to hear what relay some information to you, and it was going all so well listening to the coverage just now in the background. And I don't care what your opinions of her are of her personally. I just don't like her as a pundit. I think she's just a terrible pundit. Simple as. That's it. I feel like she adds no value to the broadcast. There are others who add much more value. So, that's simple as, really. That's simple as. Hey, Spice, good to see you. Have I seen what F1 just posted on their app? Yes, if you guys are unaware, we will, I tell you what, we'll have, I'll show you that first. I'll show you this first before we set up, shall we? F1 have just confirmed a deal. I posted it in my Discord. Wait until you hear this. This is unbelievable. I swear they've just... Where did they post it? I swear I just saw it. I just saw it. Yeah, they had a graphic for it, but the graphics disappeared. So I don't know why the graphics disappeared. I've got it in my Discord. Hang on. Let's show you this. Bit off there. The Miami Grand Prix has just been extended to 2041. Just to make you guys feel old. 2041! What? I'm going to be... How old am I going to be? 50! 50 years old I'll be! Oh my goodness. I'll be 50 when this supposedly runs out. That makes me feel old. Jesus, damn. That's a 16-year extension, I think. That's a 16-year extension. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Whew. I mean, really? Really, the Miami circuit? I mean, it's not very... It's not... I mean, yeah, it's not my favourite track. So... You'll be 32, Rev. Oh, God, you'll be 32. That makes me feel old. That's younger than what I am now. But yes, hope everyone's doing well. Evening, everyone. Seeing all your messages fly in. I am ready to rock and roll. Right, so let's see this. Oh, okay, right. So let's move that over there. This always throws me off, this kind of track map here. They're all so very different. So if we... Let's make that a bit smaller. We can move that to there. And then how am I gonna... Right, hang on. We're gonna have to make this a bit smaller, unfortunately. Such a weird track map. There we go. Can make that longer, I guess. There you go. Something like that. Something like that. Hope to be 91, Mark. You'll be here. You'll be here. I'm sure you will be. No, Trudy, you'll be around. We'll all be around for the Miami Grand Prix. Going to watch me on the big TV this weekend. Oh, thank you, Steve-O. Hopefully I look okay. Hopefully I look all right. I did moisturise before I came live. So, before I went live, so yeah. Miami is the only race on the calendar I've never seen live, seen as in via telemetry. Yeah, it's, I mean, it's a track, it's a surface that I'm not too enamoured with, to be honest with you. I much prefer Circuit of the Americas. I even prefer Vegas. I'd much prefer Vegas. At least we've had 3 out of 3 races now. 3 out of 3? 2 out of 2? I mean, I'm losing my mind. How many times have we been to Vegas now? I can't remember. Whereas little Stuffey, she's being fed right now. But she's doing very well. I did see some questions. How is the little one doing? Yeah, 7 months now. Oh, my goodness. 7 months. So, 2 races. Okay, we're 2 for 2 in relation to good races at Vegas. So, I think it hopefully will be 3 for 3 this year. I'd much prefer that. So, who's winning the Drivers' Championship this year, Leo? Oh, it's still too early to say. I'm still back in Lando. I still am. People will call me crazy, but I still am. What do I think of the Ferrari livery? Well, if you tuned into our F1 Miami GP preview last night, I'm not a fan. Not a fan. I don't think anyone is. Looks like the guy, Ferrari, didn't pay their invoice. Or they were paying it in stages, and they've got to pay the remaining stages of their invoice because it looks half completed, doesn't it? Not even half completed. So, am I going to make F1 little one an F1 fan? She already is. She already is. She's already been my co-commentator. Hopefully she is. She's either going to love it or she's just going to completely hate it and want nothing to do with it. You know how it goes sometimes. So, 72, still a young age, Philip. Hope I'm enjoying this heat, Valorius. Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. To be honest, I haven't really been out in it that much. I've been working. So, it's been nice to stay in my cool flat rather than go out and sweat. As you'll hear it all the time, the heat is very different over here in the UK. It's just not as nice as it is abroad, as it is in a bit further south. Up in the UK, it's definitely not as nice. It hits differently. It's uncomfortable. Sending her to F1 Academy, I haven't got the connections and I haven't got the money to support her racing career. Max Verstappen, however, will have the support and the connections and the money to support his daughter's racing career if she so chooses to go down that route. As he, did announce that he's had a baby daughter called Lily. So congratulations to him. Another girl dad. He's already kind of a dad anyway. He's already a stepdad pretty much. But having a baby is very different. So if you want some tips, I'm here, Max. I'm here. Difference is the heat is thick, almost suffocating. I agree, Kelly. Yeah. It was rainy and cold the last time we visited London. Yeah, that's pretty much 99% of everyone's experience of London. Maybe she takes over Crofty as a pundit. I'm hoping I can first. Let me in first. Let me in. But not long to go, guys, until this session gets underway. Now, if you didn't tune in to our Miami GP preview yesterday, there is no rain predicted for Friday, which is today. So for sprint qualifying later on, there is a slight potential and chance of rain tomorrow, but there is around, I think, a 50% chance for Sunday. So, yeah, we could potentially have rain on the Sunday, which I think we kind of need here at Miami. Of course, there is, as it was with Saudi, the teams have decided, or the teams, Pirelli have decided to bring a step softer in compounds this time around, as they did in Saudi. But we saw that not really have an effect at Saudi. We saw the tyres go on forever. So Miami is a circuit where that kind of has happened in the past. So you'll win the Powerball one day. Dreams come true. Well, I have done the lottery for this evening, so we'll see. You love London, we're willing to exchange ours for yours. Where are you, Mark, again? Happy Friday, folk. Yeah, good to see you. Welcome, everyone. Evening. Hope you're well. Hope you are well. Yes, not too long to go. Long weekend ahead of us here in the UK, bank holiday weekend. But, of course, it's a long weekend because it's a sprint race weekend again. Drivers only have one practice session, 1 hour to dial in their setups. Then, of course, they're locked in for sprint quali, which is in a few hours' time. Then we have the sprint race this time tomorrow. And then likewise, the qualifying will be in the afternoon, evening time here in the UK. And, well, that is when the drivers and teams are able to make alterations to the setup of their cars. Now, I have looked at the forecast, and where we saw a very difference and varying performances from the sprint race to the race on the Sunday was because there was around 10 degrees difference from the Saturday, track temperature-wise, from Saturday to Sunday. That played a big factor in how the tyres reacted. Also, Pirelli decided to add an extra PSI into the tyres as well, which made a big difference. So this time around at Miami, Pirelli won't be doing that, I believe. They won't be tinkering with the tyre pressures. And the track temperatures are going to be pretty consistent across the duration of the weekend as well. So what time in the UK does quali and GP? It's 9 p.m. UK time here for quali tomorrow, for this evening and tomorrow, and then the race is similar, 9 p.m. on the Sunday, give or take half an hour maybe. So why do I hope for rain, Danny? Here, I hope for rain because this circuit doesn't. I feel like what we've seen, well, ultimately what we've seen this year is very difficult for cars to go wheel to wheel because of how close they are in performance and because of the dirty air. And we don't have enough tyre degradation at enough of these circuits for there to be an overlap, to be an offset in tyres and performance, which enables drivers who are on a much more aging tyre having to go defensive to those who go for a more aggressive tyre. So we will see if it is dry this weekend, whether or not we do get better racing. But we've got a pretty large sample point now, 5 races in, and we've seen that at tracks where tyres do not degrade, the only track we have seen that happen is Bahrain, and we've got decent racing. For the most part, you need varying weather conditions like we saw at Melbourne. So I said in the preview stream last night, my expectations are very low. They're very low, and I'm hoping I'm going to be pleasantly surprised. So, yeah. F1 TV saying 9:30 for sprint quali. Okay, cool. Yeah, that is. I did say about give or take half an hour, and then I think the race on Sunday is at 9:30. Sorry, is it 9 on the hour? I think if it's on 9, I think it's on 9 o'clock on the hour. So, off-topic question: how would I react if you were in Spain during the power breakout? I'd be all right. I mean, I wouldn't be okay if I couldn't watch F1 and do these watchalongs. That's what I'd really be like. No. But yeah, I'd be all right. At least I'd like to think I would be anyway. It was only temporary. 16-year extension till 2041 for the Miami Grand Prix. I know. It's massive. Where's that 16 years come from as well? But is F1 the... I mean, F1, I guess, is like they're treating Miami as the Monaco of the American. It's the Monaco, isn't it? There's so many influences, so many people that turn up for the event itself, and what happens around the circuit and do business there, more so than the actual F1 racing itself. Similar to like Monaco. So, yeah. There's 3 DRS zones here. So there's one down the start-finish straight, which is from turn 19 to turn 1. There is one from turn 8, well, in between turn 8 and turn 9 down to turn 11. And then there's one down the back straight there of turn 16 to turn 17. So as far as I'm aware, there's no track alterations to this circuit. As 3, 2, 1, it will be green light. And FP1 is... I believe it should be underway. There we go. Green light, pit exit open, and Oscar Piastri will be the first driver out there. And well, what we're going to see here is we're going to see, no doubt, some push laps because of sprint quali. Later on this afternoon, we're going to see some probably varying tyre choices be used. It wouldn't surprise me if we don't see maybe the hard compound tyre used at all, and they decide to save those for the Sunday, because that is generally always a race tyre here. But yeah, it's going to be a very, very busy circuit, of course. And we have gone with incidents here in the past. We have seen incidents in practice sessions at Miami. And this track, well, it can be very slippery. A tyre warm-up is a bit tricky. It is a bit tricky here, getting the tyres into the right windows. So tyre deg's not an issue, but temperatures can be. But yes, we're underway. We need some good wheel-to-wheel racing and some smooth overtakes this weekend. We do. Georgian, welcome. It has just started. Yes, it has indeed. So, is there a station for Pirelli at every Grand Prix? A station? What do you mean in relation to a station? Yeah, what do you mean by station? I mean, they bring new tyres per every different race. So we are on the softest compound again, other than the C6. We're on the C5, C4, and C3. So it's a step softer than last year. But as I said, expectations are low because of what we saw at Saudi. We also went a step softer, and we saw an easy one-stop, like the easiest one-stop in the world. So you look at the weather, and the rain is expected on Sunday peak when race starts. It could be exciting. It's 16 years because Trump needs to declare the money as an international investment. But I feel like we do need. Many people will say we don't need overtakes, and I get it. F1 isn't all about the overtakes, and I agree. However, we do need some battles at least. I want to see battling at the front. I don't want to see a race ended after one corner like we saw in Saudi. Like, that's all we saw, wasn't it? So, you reckon he's going to turn up? He turned up last year, didn't he? He's turned up at like every major sporting event, isn't he, in the US since? So, how do I think Hamilton will get on? Do you know what? I really don't know. I don't expect a lot from him at the moment. They've got no updates here this weekend. Maybe he lucks out and gets the car in the right setup window and others don't. But I think for the most part, I think Lewis is going to be another weekend here where he potentially struggles. Sorry to say that, but I think he will. He's still being very open and being very harsh on himself, which I get. I understand in interviews and press conferences. And yeah, he doesn't have a lot of hope at the moment. Ultimately, Hamilton's issue isn't so much the car. I mean, the car is, yes, it is tricky to drive. But for Lewis, it is about becoming accustomed to that Ferrari engine, those Ferrari brakes. And if you look at the data, it's all in the braking. Lewis is just braking a lot later than Charles. He's driving that car in a fundamentally different way to what Charles Leclerc is. And he needs to try and replicate what Charles is doing to get the most out of that tricky Ferrari at the moment. So, and can he do that? I don't know. Ferrari is so dedicated to the red that they can't even produce a festive livery. Such a bot. Yeah, I mean, let's see what it looks like out on the TV coverage. Of course, you guys can't see that, but I'm going to see what it looks like on the TV coverage. I mean, we're looking at Piastri at the moment, but oh, I don't want to see the Racing Bulls livery as well out on track. The Racing Bulls livery look very good. You predict a Hamilton win. Mark your words, if he wins. Oh, Lando Norris is reporting there's so many tools been left in the cockpit. Not what you want when you're driving around at 100 miles an hour, is it? But he's still going to the Met Gala, so I don't think he really cares about F1 anymore the way he claims. No, I disagree with that. I think Lewis has always done. It's the same with Max in his sim racing, right? These guys have done this throughout their whole time in F1. It's not something new for them. Lewis has attended many fashion events, many events and publicity shows and stuff outside of F1, and it's never got in the way of him like winning races, winning world championships. So the same for Max Verstappen with sim racing. And I think that's an excuse that people make, or they look for an excuse or a reason as to why he won't perform. Lewis is no doubt still very dedicated to F1. He wouldn't be in F1 if he still wasn't dedicated enough to it. The same with Max Verstappen and so forth. So, do I know about the news of Max having a little baby daughter? I do. Kashish, yes. Yeah. Congratulations are in order. And he's at the top of the timing screens at the moment. And, well, can he win his first Grand Prix as a dad? I think he's got a good chance here this weekend. This Red Bull, keep an eye on it here. As we've mentioned before, this car does well at circuits where tyre deg isn't an issue. Where it is an issue, the Red Bull falters. That's its weakness at the moment. And, well, we're at another circuit where I think he's going to be in the mix. As Lando Norris noted unsafe condition, and that's in relation to the tools being left in his car. But I just saw an image of him chucking out some screwdrivers and wrenches from his car. So, hey Jackie, good to see you. Hope you're well. Got a christening on Sunday, but should manage to see the race at 9 p.m. You should be back in plenty of time, Jackie. If not, just tell people you've got a race to go and watch. Ferrari sponsors are very serious about the livery. Of course they are. Of course they are. Perez is probably really not happy to be racing in Miami. Well, there were rumours that he could maybe still be announced as a Cadillac driver this weekend. I think he's dead. I think with Mexico, I think it's a telltale sign that Mexico has been extended in its contract, that Sergio Perez is basically all but signed on the dotted line at Cadillac. Why would you re-sign Mexico? What were last year's lap records? I don't know. I'll have a look in a second in relation to what pole position was for last year, so we can keep an eye on that. We've seen the cars be about a second quicker, haven't we? So Aston Martin's already out on the softs, by the way. Interesting. Both Lawson and Hadjar are on the hard compound tyre. That's intriguing. I didn't think we'd see that tyre. As Piastri goes to the top of the screens there, 29.6. McLaren was strong here last year, of course. The race where Lando Norris broke his virginity of F1 race wins. Cadillac got like 30, 40 mil from Kit Kat Cadillac F1. So that came from a parody account called Formula Faker. So take that with a pinch of salt. However, he does bring Kit Kat as a personal sponsor, Sergio Perez. So yes, that's one of the reasons why you signed Sergio, is because he brings 30, 40 million in sponsorship. Like, he pays for himself. Like, you're not even paying, and you get all the merch as well, and it makes them. Sergio is very well supported across the world, not just in Mexico and South America. So that will help Cadillac's worldwide brand even more if they have someone like Sergio Perez. And he is also a safe pair of hands. I think people forget that in the midfield, he was a good driver. He was a very good driver. He was very good on tyres. Was able to utilise a good, decent strategy. So I think, and with his experience of being at Red Bull and stuff, and a new team like Cadillac, he will be able to develop that car. He'll be able to move that team in the right direction rather than having two newbies, as an example. So Sergio is overlooked just because of how hard that RB is to drive. Yeah. I still think he should have got more out of that car, but for the most part, Sergio still did a half decent job, I guess, for a certain period of time until like his confidence was just absolutely in the bin. Max pole position. I told you, don't rule it out. He's a brand new dad. He's a brand new dad. Any news for the TP for Cadillac? Not yet. No, nothing yet. I believe. Maybe I'm wrong there, but does Max being a dad affect his driving style and his mentality? Cue Alonso to Schumacher. I mean, look, it could do. It could do. They do say that you're racing differently. You've got a family to try and make it home to. But I don't know. I think Max is still very young. He's still in his 20s. Maybe as he gets older, it's a bit different. But no, I think Max is a born and bred racing driver, and it'll be very different. As long as he's in a quick enough car. But we'll see. I think Sebastian Vettel did lose about 3/10 a season. I think he's got 4 daughters now or something, isn't he? I think he lost 3/10 for every single daughter he had over the course of those years. But the Cadillac F1 team are currently accepting applications. Cadillac F1 car revealed tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? They're revealing it? I mean, it makes sense, but I mean, the thing is as well, I guess Cadillac have got 3 different races this year that they can unveil their car or unveil signings if they want to. It's not like Miami is the only circuit. So, yeah. You haven't heard rumours because they are fact. That is fact. Audi is indeed joining F1. Yeah, that's been confirmed for quite some time. They're taking over Stake F1, the Sauber team. How did Aston Martin made him come back from retirement? What? Sebastian Vettel? Or Alonso? What, Cadillac are revealing it tomorrow, are they? Oh, okay, fair enough. Fair enough, didn't know that. Antonelli going quickest in the middle sector, by the way, on a set of mediums. Stroll and Alonso only scrubbed off those softs briefly, didn't they? But yes, not long. Only 48 minutes left of this session. Of course, drivers, a very busy circuit out there. Teams trying to get as many laps in and gather as much data as possible with this sprint quali later on this afternoon. Hey, Cine, good to see you. All the way from South Africa. What is my favourite track layout on Formula 1? What gives the most entertainment while you're watching it on TV? I'm very biased, but I love Silverstone. I just feel like we go Silverstone and there's never a boring race there. Or I struggle to remember when we last had a boring race at Silverstone. I also like Red Bull Racing as well. I think the Red Bull Racing from the TV coverage where the cameras are positioned and the circuit itself provides and lends itself to good racing and drama. And we have seen a lot of that in the past there. And it's like they're back-to-back Red Bull Ring, and then we go to Silverstone afterwards. I think that's brilliant. Russell up into P1. How will the Mercedes cope here this weekend, guys? That's a question that needs to be answered. Of course, they surprisingly struggled on their tyres at Saudi. Very, very much so. So we'll see if they're able to have rectified those issues. Supposedly as well, updates-wise, Verstappen, the Red Bull team, have brought a brand new floor. They've expedited that. It was supposed to be coming in at Imola, and it is here at Miami. So we'll see if that can help Verstappen close the gap or even increase the gap, potentially, over the McLarens. Because, yes, as we mentioned, through circuits where there's low deg, he's been able to be on par with them and pip them, isn't he? Hey Monique, Saturday tickets too expensive from Miami, so I'm my best choice after being at the track. Thank you. Thank you. I have heard that you can get to the track itself if you want to risk it. I have heard that if you turn up at the track itself, tickets aren't sold out. So you can turn up and get some cheaper options on the gate. I have that in quite high authority because I know a few people that have gone out there and done that. They did it last year and they've done it this year. I don't know the price of this year that they've been able to get them at, but just if you're a stone's throw away from the circuit, that might be worth a punt. But yeah. What the heck is that brown drinking tyre water? What? No, I didn't see that. Hey Antonio, good to see you. Was it a 27.241? Was that the lap time for last year, was it? Was that pole position for last year? Let's have a look. Is that what it was it? As Coulthard said, Vettel won't be back. His lap times are dropping. No, Vettel won't be back. Apparently, Vettel might be coming back to Red Bull as like a sporting director or something. So, but this track, we're going to see lap times get quicker and quicker and quicker, guys, by the way, because the track evolution here is a big, big factor. So, in qualifying, the later you go out, the quicker. Obviously, it's riskier, of course, because there can always be yellow flags and you may not have enough time to do your tyre prep, which is really important here. But the later you can go out to set a lap time, the better, because you'll have the quickest track at that time. So last year, Miami, not sure why it's not selecting that for me. Last year, yeah, it was a 27.24, and then on the sprint quali was a 27.6. So yeah, you're looking at it in the 27s, basically. It's for last year. And I expect we'll see quicker this year. Seb's getting Marco's job, isn't he? Is he getting Marco's job? I don't know. I don't know if he will do. Piastri in the pits, interestingly. He's done 8 laps thus far. Maybe Lando will be joining him very shortly. Maybe they'll be sticking on some soft tyres, or maybe they're making some setup changes. When is the sprint quali? It is at 9:30 this evening, UK time. So in about 3 hours' time. Two and a bit hours' time, whatever it is, 2.5 hours' time. So Silverstone and Brazil. Yep, Interlagos is always a great one as well. I am a massive advocate for for Interlagos being the finale of the F1 season. I think it's a travesty that Abu Dhabi is the last race of the season, but of course, money talks, as it does so often in F1. So, the stands are completely empty. I haven't paid too much attention to the TV coverage, to be honest with you, but it doesn't surprise me. The prices at Miami are very expensive, aren't they? But at the moment, the usual suspects up there, Sainz and Albon. The Ferrari of Hamilton and Charles Leclerc in P7 and P10 at the moment. A lot of backup there. Look at that. It's quite a dangerous area, isn't it? Albon's been... Oh, is Ollie Behrman just got in the way of Alex Albon there? Oh, that looked very close as Russell goes to the top of the timing screens there. But Albon was flying down that back straight, and then he just came to a standstill. Yeah, he's now gone into the pits. Well, I wonder if there was something a bit naughty that happened there. Do I think there's too many street tracks? I do think there's too many street tracks, yes. I think there's a number of suitable Grand Prix circuits out there that we should be utilising, but it comes down to money again, of course, and the landmarks and what the cities want to pay. Yeah, it's just a shame, unfortunately. Hey, Taco, good to see you, mate. If it is empty, it's because it's 30 degrees out there and hardly any breeze. I'm going to go more so the cost, Monique, to be honest with you. From what I remember last year, the grandstand tickets in particular were very expensive. Which is why I said, I know that people turned up there last year and they got cheaper tickets, considerably cheaper tickets on the gate. So you saw a lot of news, Georgine, on Lewis that they were just experimenting on setups last races, and he will stick to their setup for a whole weekend and stuff. Not so much experimenting, but tinkering. Yes, Lewis stated himself that he's been tinkering with setups, and it's something that clearly he's been doing at Mercedes. He would find something. He's chasing performance. This is the problem through this whole kind of regulation set, is that Lewis has not been on the pace from the outset, and he has struggled to get to grips with these cars, and he's always trying to seek more performance. So when he actually gets the car in a decent window, he still thinks he can get more out of it, and then he makes the car worse. So unfortunately for him, he's having to learn a lot from Charles Leclerc, and he stated Charles Leclerc kind of, once he finds a decent window, he works with that. He doesn't tweak it so much. Now, there could be positives to that and there could be negatives to it. But for the most part, it seems to work for Charles, considering the Ferrari doesn't have a strong enough car to beat the McLarens and beat Max at the moment. So he needs to stop tinkering. He needs to stop inventing. Yeah, pretty much. So, Anthony, you'll give me a choice of 2 tracks if I had a choice of watch a race live. Monza, I'm assuming that's Monza, Anthony, and the Heavily Devil in Barcelona. I think Monza, I think you'd get a bit more racing at Monza. I mean, you don't get a lot, do you? You don't get a lot of racing at either of them, to be honest with you. But I feel like Monza, because of the Tifosi, because of the atmosphere there, I think the atmosphere would be so much better at Monza. That would help with maybe the lack of overtakes and racing. Do I think that US consumers are too willing to spend money right now on F1 seats? Sorry, you don't think that they're too willing? Yeah, I don't think many people are, to be honest with you. Oh, watching George Russell get the rear stepping out big time. Also with F1, so the Missed Apex crew, the podcast that I'm a part of, guys, highly recommend you listen to them. And they've been fortunate enough to gain quite very good access to the 2311 team, I think it is. And they've been out to watch NASCAR a few times now, and they've said the level of access you get in NASCAR as a fan is so good, so extensive, and the accessibility is so much better than you get in F1, and it's more affordable as well. So you're getting more bang for your buck, whereas F1, you don't get that much. You have to pay thousands to even get like a decent insight into the teams, like the VIP experiences and stuff. And I guess that's how F1 has always marketed itself. It's a very lucrative sport. It's an exclusive sport. And hence why we still go to the likes of Monaco, hence why Miami has been extended till 2041, and why it's got a fake marina and stuff. There's plenty of people that turn up at these race circuits. They don't even care about the F1. They're there for the event itself, to socialise and to do business. And NASCAR, I know it's a very different motorsport, but yeah, it's definitely more accessible for your buck as well. IMSA is the same way along with IndyCar. Yeah, most motorsport series are, to be honest with you. It's just F1 that's very like, They give famous people free tickets for an experience they don't care about. It's also free marketing. It's also the new form of marketing as well. So I've seen Miami is always the race circuit where you'll see people complain, oh, how come this influencer has got this? They don't even care about F1 and they've got all these tickets and stuff. Well, yeah. Well, with respect, you've got 20,000 followers on TikTok, and this woman has 20 million followers on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube. Like, there's going to be considerably more eyes on that person's content than yours. Like, so it's a form of free marketing. Why no music? There is music. Maybe it's just a little bit low. I'll turn it up ever so slightly for you guys. I think this song's a little bit low. That's all. Your 107 subs should give you VIP access. Exactly, Taco. Exactly. It's a bit of entitlement. It's just a bit of jealousy. I mean, I'm jealous. I'd love to get a free VIP experience at a hotel and free food and free booze for the weekends. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I love these watch-alongs and I love providing them for you. But if I get a free VIP experience, I'm taking it. I'll do a vlog or something. I'll try my best. I mean, it may be just me going, hey, look, here's the track, and a bit tipsy. But, yeah. Why wouldn't you take it? It'd be a very special vlog, that's for sure. Just live stream. Yeah, well, it's a bit... You need to be careful with copyright. I know some people have live streamed from trackside, and they've ended up getting copyrighted. So you just have to be careful not to show the sound and basically give the inkling that you're there. Watch along from the stands, yeah. There's no music. Is there really no music? No, there isn't, is there? Bear with me, guys. Hang on. You've just been listening to my dulcet tones. I appreciate that. How about now? Is that all right? Is that there? I noticed this last time, actually, as well. There we go. Just fills the silence, doesn't it, when I'm not here? So. Trophy house on turn 1 is 100k for all 3 days. Oh my goodness. But that's the thing. No one. It's only like big companies that pay that, and they'll be doing serious business deals. So there'll be businesses there who will be looking, like hedge funds, I imagine, and things like this. Will be looking to seal a deal that's worth probably like 100 million or something, 50, like millions of pounds or millions of dollars. So that 100k is totally worth sweetening up the people that they obviously want to do the deal with. So, do I think Lewis Hamilton sometimes overthinks things to the point sometimes it affects his performance on the track because he's too Korean? 100%, Anthony. Yeah, he thinks too much. Yeah, he's not. F1 drivers, when they're confident, when they're in a flow, in a rhythm, they're not thinking about a lot. They're really not. And I think anyone who's played any sports at any level, when you've played your best, you don't consciously think about things. It just, like, instinctively happens. So I used to play golf. Well, I'd still play golf, but I used to be a golf pro. And the times I played best was when I didn't have to think about my golf swing. Like, everything I hit just went where I aimed it, went where I wanted it to. And when you start overthinking, that's when things go wrong. And that's the case in any sport. Confidence is so key. And Lewis is a man at the moment who doesn't have confidence in that car. He's overthinking the setup, overthinking how he drives. But he does fundamentally need to change how he drives because that is where he's losing time at the moment. But what will do him some good here is that really he needs to just benchmark himself against Charles because Charles is, I think, he is getting credit, but he's not getting as much credit as, say, what Max is for dragging a slow Red Bull up to the front. That Ferrari, I think Charles is doing as good as a job as Max Verstappen in that Ferrari. That Ferrari is not good enough to be on pole position to win races at the moment. And Charles Leclerc is doing as good of a job as Max in maximising that car, especially when he's got someone like Lewis alongside him. Everything clicks when you're at your peak. Everything clicks when you're just, you're in that flow, you're in that rhythm. So, companies also buy out the VIP sections for different influencers. Yeah, exactly, because they're all there to promote them, and it's a new form of marketing. It's the new way of marketing. Buying an advert now on TV isn't how you're going to get new people in the sport, how you're going to promote your brand. It's through influencers and people that actually will do videos and stuff on your products. When he had the most dominant car, he was clam. Now he wants the fastest car back. Well, yeah, I mean, they all want the fastest car. I think they just want a car that they feel comfortable in, and they all want to win races. Every driver on this grid wants to win races. Now, yes, some of them have eventually accepted that they're never going to be in a top team to win races, but they all come into F1 with the aim of doing good enough to be able to showcase themselves so that they can get the best car, be in the best team, and win races to win world championships. Very few people get on the grid, if any, get into F1 to just be happy that they're in F1. They want to take that next step. Some of them don't, and then they are happy that they're just continually in F1. But yeah, for the most part, they all want that best car. They all want that car that they can feel confident in, that they can at least battle for race wins and a championship. So, do I think Lewis can win in 2026 as a car looks identical to 2008 car? God knows, Lee. 2026, I think he'll win a race in 2026. But, I mean, 2026 is such an unknown. I'm not even going to make any assumptions about it at the moment. They're still trying to review the power output of the battery and the engines at this late stage. So we still don't even know what the regs are going to look like in their final guise when it comes to the first race of next season. So it's all ifs and buts at the moment. So it's still basically just taking a shot in the dark. Hey Max! Everyone hit the subscribe and like button so we can get me to a VIP race. It's okay. I don't need VIP. I'm cheap. Just give me a Friday ticket. I just want to see cars go around the circuit for hours. But yeah, no, guys, appreciate it as always for tuning in. If you could hit that like and subscribe button. We're here for every single session this weekend, of course. Over 1,200 of you in here. Still mad that we get over 1,000 viewers for a practice stream now. Wasn't too long ago that was absolutely amazing to achieve that on a race day. So big thank you, guys, for tuning in and listening to my waffle on these practice sessions. Sometimes it means more than the actual race day because it makes me realise that you guys seem to appreciate these more chilled, laid-back streams where it's just obviously me having a back and forth with you guys. Thoughts about the upcoming Toyota new GT3. I didn't know they were bringing one out. I'm not really too familiar and up to date with GT3s. Right, Nico Hulkenberg, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about on-track action because there is some that is happening. We've had half an hour now in this session and, well, don't look too much into the medium compound runs that we just had there. Teams, yes, will be looking to gather some minimal long-run data, but of course they're trying to dial in their setups here as well with only an hour in this session to do so. Of course, half an hour remaining now. We're halfway through with sprint qualifying fast approaching in a few hours' time. But Nico Hulkenberg is the first driver, it seems, on the soft compound tyre, unless Carlos Sainz is on a soft as well. It doesn't quite show what tyre he's on. No, he's on the medium. Hulkenberg is going to be the first driver to set a performance lap, it looks like, as he's on the softs. Max Verstappen is out on a set of mediums as well. But I suspect in the next 10 minutes or so, we will see drivers go out on the softs and try a performance run and get into the groove for sprint quali. What driver do I feel is obsessed with using the medium compound tyres throughout the race, no matter what the condition? I don't think any driver is obsessed with using the mediums. I think the medium compound tyre is just a stable tyre of choice at the moment. The difference between the softs is that the softs don't really... the differences between the soft and the medium is just that, that the softs, while they're not necessarily degrading, they don't... Why would you go on the softs when you can just go 100% on the hards all the time and make them, and then knowing that they're not going to degrade at all, whereas the softs will still degrade and you'll still lose some time on them. So that's why the medium is kind of the general tyre of choice to start on, and then that leaves you open to deciding whether to use your strategy to go onto the softs or whether you go onto the hards. So the medium just leaves you open to different strategies. That's the thing. So I have the best timers in track position. Thank you, Max. Much appreciated. Appreciate your kind words. Mercedes tested the 2026 engine is looking like it's going to be slower than the F2 car. Yeah, so Tamme, the reason why they're discussing the power output of the battery usage or the battery deployments when it comes to the 2026 regs is that supposedly Mercedes in their simulations were seeing that the battery was running out before, I think it was in quali, they were running out before a full lap could be completed. So they were seeing top speeds that were less than an F2 car. So how that happened, so supposedly as well, and I think this is just absolutely ridiculous, supposedly the majority, if not all of the simulations for the 2026 regs have been on quali runs, quali fuel. I mean, I'm sorry. Does anyone realise that F1 is decided not necessarily... Okay, yes, I know we've got a quali championship this year, but does anyone realise that they still have to put 100 kilos of fuel in the car? Like, does it not make sense to do some simulations for race sims, like for a race scenario? You know? It's still just massively up in the air, and just seems like it's just... I mean, there is talk about maybe the regs being pushed back a year, but I don't think they can do that because they've got two new manufacturers joining in Audi and in Cadillac. So they can't do that. So who looks better 2026? No one, Sean. It's just all hearsay at the moment. It's just all hearsay. As I was just saying there, that they're still not 100% sure on what the regs are going to be yet for the start of 2026. So Yeah, what is the investigation for Lando? So they sent him out there with tools still within the car. So yeah, like a torch, like a wrench or something, or a screwdriver. It looked like. I saw Lando chuck a couple of things outside of his car. So not good to have loose objects in the cockpit when you're going around the circuit at 100 to 200 miles an hour. So that's why that's going to be investigated. So just looking at Isaac Hadjar having a moment through the turn 8 corner. Turn 7 corner. So the apex there, the drivers wash out to the exit and the outside of turn 7 to turn 8. And they get on the curb in there. And that is where they can lose control of the rear. So keep an eye out on that in quali. We've seen a few moments there and a few crashes in the past at that exact corner because of that curbing. It was always an impossible challenge to attain 50-50 at these suggested power outputs, basic engineering. Yeah, so I think they're talking about 60-40 now, or 70-30 even, Waz. I think that's what they're talking about. So, can Lando still win this? Of course he can. Lando can still win it. Look, we're in a very long championship. It's 24 race season with 6 sprint races. We've had 5 races now with 1 sprint race. We've got another sprint race this weekend. So there's still a lot of racing to be had this season. And there's that technical directive coming in for the flexi wing as well. That supposedly many are hoping, or Red Bull particularly are hoping, will affect the McLaren a lot. But I've seen in particular, or I've listened to actually, a couple of tech reviews, and particularly the Missed Apex tech review that was on in the week, and some interesting information as to why the McLaren is so strong at the moment. The McLaren is so strong at the moment, not because of the flexi wing, but because of how they're able to manage their tyre temperatures so well. Yes, they've got a great engine in the Mercedes power unit. Yes, they've created a great chassis and aero package, but in particular the tyres, and this was this was Red Bull's strength for the early part of these regs, was that they were able to manage the tyre life and the temperatures of the tyres in these very peaky, tricky Pirelli tyres. As Ocon's been noted for impeding Lando Norris down the end of the start-finish straight. They've been able to create kind of like a bird nest type of, not a device, but they've been able to house their brakes in some housing that is able to be set up in a way that it either distributes air towards the tyre or away from the tyre, depending on what they require at the circuit. And this is why McLaren has been able to, at circuits where tyre temperatures are important, specifically DEG and so forth, they're able to make their tyres last longer so they can go quicker for longer. And that's what Red Bull were able to do back in the early set of the regs. Who do I think will win this race right now? Still too early. I'm backing Lando still. I'm backing for he's got good fond memories here. Oh my goodness, watching that moment with Lando and Ocon, by the way, that was scary. Lando really didn't know which way to go. He was like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We should have different tyre compounds for the sprint versus the race. That would make things a bit interesting, Raymond. Yeah, it would do. Yeah, it would. Of course, in the sprint quali, we have the medium compound tyre have to be used mandatory in the first and second qualifying sessions. Then the last session, Q3, is on the soft compounds. Do I think Max had good sleep considering him flying out and in the country? I'm sure he had a very good sleep on his private jets. I think he had a lot. I think he had a lot of sleep. So. McLaren probably... What was that about McLaren? Sorry. McLaren probably played a setup and found that the setting max tow out helps with the temperatures. What did you ask, Anthony? What are my thoughts? A playoff system like NASCAR? No, I hate the playoff system. I hate the playoff system. I don't like it in any sport, to be honest with you. I don't think you should... I don't like the fact that you can just not be particularly a quick driver or car for the majority of the season. You sneak into the playoffs and then win the big prize. How's that fair? It provides, I guess, good entertainment, but I don't like playoffs in any kind of scenario. So I will try and get to your comments as best as possible, guys. If I missed them, Of course, the chat does move very quickly. So, yeah, if I do miss them, it's not to be taken personally. So I'll try and get some as butters as I can. Do I think that Oscar will actually challenge Lando this year, or will Lando's experience pull off? I think we're going to see a season-long battle between them. I think we are, and I think that's going to keep Max Verstappen in that fight as well. So yeah, if Red Bull don't improve their car and make their car better on circuits where tyre deg and tyre temperatures are going to be an issue, then oh my god, sorry, just to interrupt there, I'm just seeing the McLaren merchandise for Miami this weekend. What a horrible design. What a horrible design for their merch. Unbelievable. Sorry, that really threw me off there, my train of thought. But yeah, I think Max Verstappen with that Red Bull, if they're able to fix that issue, then he of course will be challenging them week in, week out. But there's also enough tracks this year where deg isn't going to be an issue, that Max can still win races, he can still stick it on pole position and challenge for this world title. So, NASCAR ruined its products with the chase BS. I mean, yeah, I'm not particularly sure with like the format of NASCAR. I don't watch it often enough to know, but I know about the playoffs and stuff. So, which F1 merch did I purchase? You'll have to find out in Sprint Quali. Yes, I have bought some F1 merch. My first bit of F1 merch I've bought in years because it is pricey. But I couldn't not buy some merch this time around. So, I have the impression that Red Bull is sandbagging in free practice sessions. Yeah, I mean, look, don't take anything into account on these medium tyre runs right now. They're all trying to gather data in their own way. We only have a limited amount of time. There's so much that they have to try and achieve in this first practice session with this single hour. We're going to see a lot of drivers are in the pits right now, so they'll be making setup changes, taking fuel out of the car. They'll be probably prepping for their performance runs any minute now. So there's a lot that they're trying to do in this first, as Matt said, I mean, my God, what was that? He's fully on the racing line. Didn't see the replay there of who that was, but a lot of they're just stating that they do have to, the drivers are having to go very slow to cool down the temperature in their tyres, and this is what could potentially provide us with some penalties and some dangerous situations come qualifying, especially down that back straight, because you're starting your lap out of the exit of turn 17. So hey, great, it's good to see you, mates. How's the tyre deg isn't going to be an issue here. No, tyre temperature will be, but tyre deg won't be in itself. But for the most part, we're probably going to see tyres go a very long way again. But in qualifying, it'll make things interesting, because if you don't get your tyres into the right window, then yeah, you will suffer. Do I think Bortoletto will have a comeback as a good driver with a better car of F1 next year? As I said, 2026 is all ifs and buts, but I do rate Bortoletto. I really do. He's in a tricky situation. He knew he was joining a team that was going to be at the back of the grid this year. He needs to just try and focus on beating his teammate, which he has done start of the season, but he's faltered a bit, isn't he, in the previous few races. So Max is always sandbagging. Which Miami livery is one of my favourite this season? I love the Ferrari. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. I know a few of you fell off your chair there. Oh, no, I love the Toro Rosso, sorry, the V car, RB car, whichever bloody name they are now. Yeah, I mean, that's how you commit to a livery. That's how you commit. Don't tease us. Don't go half-heartedly. I think Ferrari are doing it bit by bit, you know. Last year, we had the blue wheel, we had the blue wheels, and we had like the blue trim, didn't we, and the blue halo, and everyone was very disappointed. This year, disappointed again, and it looks like only a third of the car is painted blue and white. I think next year we'll get 2/3 of the car blue and white, and then it'll be 2027 we finally see an all blue and white livery for Ferrari. Yeah, just Why is the Ferrari getting so much hate? It's not that bad. I mean, look, if that's your taste, Alfie, fair enough. But it just feels like a cop-out. Just feels like a cop-out. So, especially when the race suits are all blue and white, you know? They're committed to the race suits, but they haven't committed to the whole livery on the car. So, rumour is that Porsche will join Williams and Hamilton with display signs in 2026. Is that a rumour? Where have you seen that? Bold rumour. You heard McLaren is strong because of the anti-dive, which also means they can run their front wing lower than other teams, which equals more downforce, some more grip. It's supposed to be one of the reasons. Supposed to be one of the reasons why they're good. It's a whole package, of course, but one of the big ones is one of the big reasons is, as I said, that management of the brake temperatures. So Red Bull they've been throwing out the feelers there that McLaren have been doing something dodgy with their tyres. If you remember, they said, oh, there's been fluid, there's been water that's been found within the tyre carcass of the McLaren's tyres, and we know this is something that shouldn't be allowed. And the reason we did is because we tried it ourselves, and then they had Red Bull engineers move over to McLaren. So maybe they did try that, but I think it's more so from what we've heard with the housing of the brakes and how they're able to distribute the hot air away from the tyres or more towards them, depending on what they need at each track. So, Ferrari's livery team has commitment issues, just like your girlfriend. Ooh. Is she truly your girlfriend if she has commitment issues, though? Does she consider you to be your girlfriend? Or is it you that thinks she's your girlfriend? Sorry, a bit off topic there, guys. When is George going to sign for Mercedes, or is Max planning to steal his seat? Well, that is it, isn't it? Are Mercedes leaving their options open and just dangling that carrot for Max Verstappen until the summer break? Because supposedly it is the top two that Max Verstappen needs to be in come the summer break in the driver's standings for his performance clause not to be activated. If he's outside the top two, which he currently is by 2 points, only 2 points to Lando Norris, then he will be able to move to another team free of charge. Basically, in effect, becomes a free agent. So, the rich get richer, and that's the way it is. Oh yeah, in F1 it is. Yeah. So that bro got personal. Who do I think's got this race in the bag, Stefan? I don't think anyone's got this in the bag. But here we go. Performance runs. This is what we tune into practice for. Of course, you tune in to hear my dulcet tones and ask me questions, which is great. Thank you very much, guys, for your feedback. But here we go. Right, performance runs here. Colour sizes on a set of softs. Albon's on a set of softs. Alonso as well. Remember, last season was a 27.2 was pole position for the main qualifying. Sprint race was a 27.6. So normally the sprint quali is not as quick as the the main race quali, because primarily the teams have gathered more data from the quali session and the sprint race, and they're able to make suitable changes to their car to make it quicker. What do I feel about the 2026 race being smaller and how they look similar to those 2017, 2019-ish designs? I mean, look, we need to go back. The right direction is to head back to smaller, lighter cars for a number of reasons. But yeah, it's a step in the right direction. It's not a tremendous amount, the reduction in both weight and size. But look, it's a step. Yeah, it's a step in the right direction. Exciting to see this track in iRacing. Yeah, it is coming to iRacing, isn't it? Maybe, I reckon, are they going to scan it? They might be scanning it this weekend. I wonder if they're here this weekend and they've scanned it. You do presume it would be, wouldn't it? So, what the future has in the bag? So basically, I'm assuming you're asking there, Shallow, what do I think Max's future holds? I do think he will leave Red Bull. I do. The only way he stays at Red Bull is if Red Bull provide him a championship-winning car. If they provide him anything other than that, he is seeking a way out. I think he moves. I still think the likely destination for him is Aston Martin. I think they will probably keep George Russell. But they may go for Max. Mercedes may go for him, and Max may try and force that issue as well, because it's more likely potentially that Mercedes has the strongest engine for these new engine regs compared to maybe Honda, who didn't hit the ground running with those regs. Actually, did they join? Was Honda in the sport back in 2014? I don't think they did. They were, was they? Because they were Renault engines that Red Bull used, and then Honda came back in the sport. So, bit of an unknown for Honda, maybe. But yeah, there's that relationship there. There's that known quantity for Max with Newey, and of course Honda. So, I still think Aston Martin's more likely. As Sainz does a 27.6. There we go, guys. Pole position of Sprint Quali last year has been met by Carlos Sainz already. That is how much quicker these cars are. So, track temperature, 45.1 degrees. It's going to get cooler, of course, in a few hours' time. You do presume it will be. So, or maybe it will get hotter, because it's a bit later on in the afternoon. Not really sure. Who else out there on a flying lap? Alex Albon goes second fastest. Looks like he got held up a bit by Antonelli starting his lap. So, starting his lap. He's continuing his lap. Interesting that Mercedes aren't bothered, by the way. Mercedes' approach is very different. They're not bothered by setting a quick lap time. They're focusing purely, no doubt, on their long runs and potentially their tyre deg, which is a big issue for them in Saudi. Interesting that Russell and Antonelli haven't come back into the pits yet to stick on a set of softs and do some performance runs. We'll see if they still have a bit of time to do that, of course, if they want to. But a considerable amount of laps on the mediums for both Russell and Antonelli, because that was their Achilles heel last week, wasn't it? Last time around was that tyre deg, which caught them out. Oh, yellow flag. Why is there a yellow flag? Did someone just have an off there? Oh, was there a big moment through turn 7 for Albon or Piastri? Piastri not on a push lap, he's on an out lap. Alex Albon's going slowly. Alex Albon's going very slow, but we have seen that he did a push lap, and well, the next in lap, the cool down lap, shall we say, is very slow here because they're really trying to cool down the temperatures of these tyres at Miami. But what happened there? Did they just get out of the way, or did Alex Albon just go well wide there of that corner to just let Piastri through? As I'm just watching. No, okay. Verstappen fastest in the first sector. So here we go, guys. Quick lap times being posted. Hadjar putting a good lap on the board at the moment as well, as Lawson goes 7th fastest. As Piastri hit the wall through turn 16 on his out lap. But let's see where he can go, as he's going to be starting his lap. But let's keep an eye on Max Verstappen, of course, the new dad. Hadjar up into P3. Wow, that's a good lap time from him. He stuck 4 temps there. 4 temps on his teammates. Where is Verstappen? Oh, he's up there at the top of the top of my screen. Verstappen is heading down the back straight. Not fastest in the middle sector, by the way. A 10th down on Carlos Sainz, which is interesting. But he's a good few temps up in the first sector. So Max Verstappen, who I expect to be strong here in this Red Bull, comes across the finish line, and it is a 27.558. So he lost a bit of time, Max, through the remainder of the track, or of the lap. Was very strong in the first sector, but maybe just went a bit too hard on his tyres in that first sector, and he suffered as a result for the remainder of the track, remainder of the lap, as Piastri goes fastest in the first sector, a 28.8 for him, as he's catching some traffic. See if Tsunoda gets out of his way. Lawson, very tricky place to move these big F1 cars, the largest in F1 history, out of the way here. We'll see if Piastri is any quicker. Is there any purple middle sectors here? Oh, it's still a purple middle sector for Piastri there. Interesting. So his lap wasn't too displaced. How about Charles Leclerc? Going to come across the line now, and Charles goes up into P1. Ooh, just pipping Verstappen. As Stroll stays out of the way of Oscar Piastri, but Piastri is going to go quickest here. But how much quicker is he going to go? We'll see. Piastri, and it is a 3.5 temps quicker, 27.1. That's quicker than last year's pole position in the main qualifying, and it's half a second quicker than what we saw in sprint quali last year, guys. So yes, Piastri there laying down a marker as Lando Norris is about to start his lap as well. So we'll see how he gets on. The Mercedes, interestingly, as I mentioned, they're not fussed about their single lap pace at all. They are focusing purely on their long run data, it seems. As Lewis Hamilton is going to be starting a lap soon as well, as we'll keep an eye on him and see if he can match his teammate, who is 3.5 tenths back from Oscar Piastri. But Lando Norris, where is he in the first sector as he heads through turn 6? Of course, the winner here last year at the Miami Grand Prix. And, well, where does he go? He stuck it on pole position here in the sprint quali last year as well, didn't he? If I'm not mistaken. Oh, wow, he's 3 tenths down on his teammate there in the first sector. So, did he make a mistake in the first corner, maybe? Did he make a mistake? Sorry, Lando didn't stick it on pole here last year in the sprint quali. Where did he? Why am I thinking he stuck it on pole? It's clearly something not right there. Maybe I'm thinking of a different track, but yeah, Lando not able to... A faster middle sector for him. Oh, yellow flag for Behrman through turn 12. That is the fake marina section, ladies and gentlemen. And Lewis Hamilton is about to reach the sector. And, well, his lap time will not be posted. It was slightly quicker than Lando's first sector, which bodes well for Lewis. But Ollie Behrman has lost control, evidently, of the car there through turn 12 and is in the barrier. And that, no doubt, will bring this FP1 session to an end, putting a stop to potentially some performance runs that the teams were trying to put out there, as trying to see exactly what Ollie Behrman has done, because it's an unusual place for someone to lose the car there. So, especially under their own steam. So, unless he's caught the curbing and the car has gone round on him, or if there's just maybe a mechanical issue, not sure yet. Waiting for the TV coverage to show. It looks like... Has he hit the wall? Has he hit the wall? Or is he, his car looks... From this angle, the car looks intact, but not able to see... So he has scuffed the wall. Oh, he's facing the other way round. So yes, Ollie Behrman has indeed gone round on himself. And he's facing the wrong way, by the looks of it. Still yet to see a replay. He's okay, but he... slammed his head forward in relation to him obviously not being happy. The car does look intact though. I mean, for the most part, unless there's right rear suspension damage, the car looks intact. So maybe he just couldn't get the car going again. It's in an unsafe space to try and spin the car around there. We will see if that's... I'm still yet to see a replay of what's happened. He's checking the right rear, but it didn't see like there was any visible damage. So he'll be okay. Is this practice? Yeah, it looks like practice is finished. So here we go. Replay of Ollie Behrman as he heads down into the sharp braking zone of turn 10. Oh, snap of oversteer on the exit. And oh my goodness. Oh, that's a horrible one, isn't it? That's a real horrible one there. That's a real horrible one. Oh, I think he might be okay. So, yeah, he just got offline. He had a snap of oversteer that he corrected and saved through turn 11. Sorry, so it was turn 11 he went through. He had a snap of oversteer on the exit. Just ran a bit wide on the dirty line. And then as he's gone through turn 12 on the entry, the rear of the car has just gone round on him. It's such a lazy spin. But the car does seem to be intact. So, yeah. He'll be okay. Ollie Behrman, of course, looking to... move on with some good performances. But yes, that is going to bring this red flag session. I think it's going to bring this session to an end. The teams will be able to get out there and do their, obviously, practice start procedure. But for Lewis Hamilton, he was 7th fastest in the first sector. He was only a couple. He was faster than Lando, who improved in the second sector. And then we had. Then I'm looking at. So I'll show you the sector times, really. I'll show you the sector times, but of course not everyone was able to finish a lap. So we can see here, Piastri fastest across all 3 sectors. Max Verstappen fastest in the first sector, but then maybe, I don't know if he made some errors on his lap, lost that time as the lap progressed. Charles Leclerc not looking too bad. Lewis Hamilton wasn't able to complete his push lap there, so that's why he is down in 13th and 10th in the second sector and third sector. Lando Norris, though, improvements to be made for him there in that first sector. 3 tenths off of Piastri, but then stuck a tenth on him in the, well, almost 2 tenths on him in the middle sector. So it may be a balancing act here. Temperature's more of the issue than Deg here at Miami. Maybe if you go too hard and load the tyres up too much in that first sector, you're going to be at a detriment when it comes to the second and last sector. I wonder if that is going to be a story to keep an eye on, or a pattern, shall we say, to keep an eye on when it comes to qualifying in a few hours' time. Not many got a run on softs. No, not many did. So, we're a red flag. The event is stopped indefinitely. There is no runs after this. No. So the only thing they'll be able to do is remove that car, and they'll allow them, as the timer just ticks over to 0 there, they'll allow them to go, and I think they will allow them to go around and do a start procedure. Normally they allow them to, unless they think they can't remove Ollie Behrman's car in a suitable amount of time. But yeah, so just watching the replay again of Ollie Behrman, he just has a snap. He just has a snap through. I mean, maybe that peaked the tyre temps. Doesn't look like he went on the dirty line, to be honest with you. Is he on the dirty line there? Maybe. But yeah, not the ideal line, it looks like. Yeah, naturally. Now I'm looking at the car behind him literally comes through and he's not taking that curb as much as Ollie Behrman on the entry to turn 12 because of him taking the line okay. So maybe a bit of right rear suspension damage, but for the most part, the car is intact. So this is sabotage, Hamilton. No. Well, it may do Hamilton some good because maybe he doesn't know what his single lap pace is, and it might make him not tinker with the car. And then he heads into sprint quali and he does a decent job. So yeah, that is it, guys, for this quali session. I don't think it's going to get the drivers aren't going to make their way around to do their start procedures. So yeah, it was Piastri who did a performance run there and got to the top of the timing screens with a 27.128. Just shows how quick these cars are. That at the first stage here of the weekend, the first performance run we saw from the McLaren, it was already half a second quicker than that of sprint quali pole last year and a tenth quicker than the main quali pole. Charles Leclerc P2, 3.5 tenths back. Max, 4.5 tenths back. Sainz and Albon looking like they're best of the rest at the moment. The Williams, or particularly Sainz, of course, a couple of good weekends. Bahrain, he should have converted those points there, we know, but he was going well. Saudi, he did convert those points. And then he'll be looking to convert points here again in the Williams. Hadjar P6, Russell P7, and Anthony. Intriguing choice there by the two Mercedes to just do long runs. It's clear, evident choice there to try and gather data on the long runs on probably higher fuel for them, considering the tyre deg issues that they had in Saudi. Tsunoda P8, a second off the lead there. Alonso 10th, Lawson 11th. Norris was going to jump up to second, potentially overtake his teammate, depending on the last sector there. Definitely would have been top 2. Hamilton, yeah, we know, wasn't able to get a push lap in. Hulkenberg, Bortoletto, 14th, 15th. Behrman, we just saw spin the car round, which brought out that late red flag in P16. Gasly, 17th, wasn't even able to get a performance run in. Neither was Jack Doohan, neither was Ocon, and neither... Lance Stroll just looks slow at the moment, doesn't he? So there we go. In aircraft, water in tyres could cause higher pressure and even steam production. Ultimately, this may cause a separation of tyre and hub. Have I missed something that Red Bull thought about? It was more about the cooling of the tyres, Peter, supposedly. It was to do with management of the temperatures. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not... I really don't know. But I don't think it's what McLaren are using to try and cool their tyres, and it's the advantage that they have. I think it's evidently something to do with this housing of the brakes. So, but there we go, guys. That is it for this session. Big thank you as always. If you can hit that like button, it really does just show your appreciation that you've enjoyed the streams and helps grow this great community that we have here. So yes, I'm going to go have some dinner. I'm going to go iron my team merch top that I have, that I will put on for sprint quali. So, yes. What top have I got? What have I bought? High downforce for this weekend. Going to be lots of rain here in Miami. Yeah, but not for the sprint race tomorrow and for quali tomorrow. So, it's potentially going to be... they're able to change their setups from sprint race to the quali Saturday evening. So that's when they'll maybe make those decisions in relation to downforce. But they don't have to worry about that for the sprint race tomorrow and for sprint quali this afternoon. But yeah, there we go, guys. Thank you as always. Thank you for all the new subs as well. Much appreciated. We'll be back in a few hours' time. We do have... I'll link the stream is already set up. So I'll link the stream in the chat for you guys so you can go save it. As I've literally just seen a video posted by someone, how Antonelli and Behrman could be Ferrari's future by 2029. Looks like people are digging out a bit of, trying to get a bit of content, or suffering with a bit of content, to be honest with you. Right, let me share that in here. There you go. That's the next watch along. Go save it, guys. Hit the like button. And we'll see you in a few hours' time. All right? Bye.